Well, hello everyone. My name is Tim, and we're now going to jump into part two of a two-part, hopefully two-part, maybe it'll extend to three parts, I don't know, restoration series on the Pioneer CTF-1000. In part one, you will have seen that I've inherited this deck from a very good friend of mine who passed away, and we had both bought these tape decks at the same time in 1978 over in a military base in Germany where we used to live. And I sold mine many years later, and he kept his. And when he passed, basically left this to me through his friends, and very good friends in Edmonton. His name was Lawrence. And I've decided that I want to throw this back into my Pioneer Silver Series system again. It's got great sentimental value. When I sold the deck, I regretted it almost immediately. And since then, I've actually got into a lot of cassette deck restorations, quite a few Nakamichis and whatnot. And I wanted to try and tackle this bad boy and slip it back into my Pioneer system up in my main media room. And if we can get it working, I'll basically show it working in the new system where it's a perfect match. I've got the SA9500-2 amplifier, I've got the TX8500-2 tuner, SG9800 equalizer, and then I've got a timer, Pioneer timer that's from that era as well as a CD player, which I got from Japan, which is a silver-faced, which is a very uber rare kind of silver-faced SA CD player that matches the system. So this will fit in nicely if I can get it fully functioning. So in part one, I got it partially functioning. It went from a dead unit sitting for decades, and now it plays actually quite good. Let's see if I can show you. See, there's playing good. You can see the VUs and actually on the sound chummy here. But still, we're having problems with the fast forward. Fast forward is actually working, sort of. It's actually improving. But it slows down and then it stops. And then the rewind starts rewinding, but again, we probably have to work on the tires or even replace the tires on those clutch assemblies. And hopefully, what I didn't do in that first series was I didn't do the tire replacements, and I didn't do the pulley for the fast forward rewind motor. And I'm thinking if I do that pulley, put a new pulley in, that may fix my issue, and then I'll have a perfectly functioning cassette deck. And following that, if I can get everything working transport-wise, I will consider doing a recap. And like I did with my Nakamichi CR3A decks, I've got two of those. And I replaced all faulty orange caps in those. So we may tackle this thing one board at a time and get it back up to as new speed. So I've got lofty goals for this, and hopefully we can achieve that. So I'm going to strip I've already got the faceplate stripped down from previously. I'm going to take out the transport mechanism, and then I've got that pulley assembly, which is here somewhere. I'll find it. Right here. This is the pulley assembly that I didn't install in part one, and I'm thinking, because it is for the fast forward rewind motor, and of course it's not fast forwarding and rewinding properly. It is actually trying. I can get it to fast forward, but then it slows down and stops. So it's probably that that pulley is either slipping or it's the clutch assemblies. I'm hoping it's the pulley. So we're going to do that one first and then see if that's okay. And then if that doesn't work, then I'll work on maybe doing the tires on the, which is a much higher and much riskier maneuver when you start monkeying with those clutch assemblies, which are made out of nylon, and if you break those, they're unobtainium. So we're going to do this in measured steps, And hopefully there's the pulley that we're going to replace, and hopefully that will do the trick. So stay tuned. We're going to go into hyperlapse as I usually do, and record me taking it apart the whole 9 yards. And when I come into any sort of thing where I need to do some explanation, we'll get out of hyperlapse and follow with explanations and carry on from there. So, well, let's do it. All right, I've come to, I jumped a couple of steps here. I jumped right to step, I took the motor out, or the cassette assembly out of the deck, and basically jumped right to step 16, remove 3 screws shown in figure F, and remove fast forward rewind motor base just to move it to the side. And I look at, I've pulled it out, and now I've got the motor assembly, and I see that the belt on, or the pulley on here is all worn out. It's all slick, it's concave, and I think that might be our problem, because I'm looking inside here, and these things, all the tires look good still, and this is a fast forward rewind motor. So I think that by changing this thing out with this newer belt, or this new pulley, that may solve our problem. So they say that they use Loctite on this hex key, and they've given a really super thin hex key on here, and they said that just give it one little try, but if it's tight, in order to release that Loctite, and that's in the instructions that came with the kit, to heat up the hex key for about 20 seconds with a lighter, and try to break free the Loctite by doing that if the thing won't release, because you don't want to strip that thing, otherwise you'll never get it off. So we're going to give it a little bit of a try, and if it is going to be a bit of a bear, I'm going to move this off to the side a bit so it doesn't fall over the edge. And maybe, just maybe, we may have found our issue. So, more to follow. Well, let's do this live, since this is a critical part that I'm thinking is going to be hopefully sort our issue out. So there's the really super thin hex key, and apparently it's the hardest one you can buy. So that it won't strip, hopefully. It's really super small. Oh, my doggy is freaking out upstairs as usual. There we go. But we're going to have to heat it. Okay, we'll do that on hyperlapse. So here's the piece, the offending piece right there. Right there, you can see that it's all shiny, and you can almost see, probably can't see because the focus, it's not focusing properly, and it's focusing on my hands. Anyway, it's, I think, worn out. And what we're going to do is we're going to put on the new one, and hopefully I'm going to keep that, and I can treat that with rubber renew as a backup piece, I think. I might be able to breathe some life into it, but yeah. But it seems that I have to go out for a meeting right now, so I won't be able to finish this right away. I'll have to come back at it. Okay, make sure that's out. Let's put it on anyway. Then I'll come back and we'll reassemble, and hopefully be in a position to, I'm going to bring it up just a little off just the way it was. You don't want it riding onto the base of the motor. You need to have a little bit of space there, I think. And I'm just going by what I viewed on the other one. Hopefully that'll do it. And I don't know if I want to do Loctite on this thing. Worst comes to worse, if it slips, I can take it apart and then come back and put Loctite on it later. I might have to adjust it. There. That's good. It's on there pretty good. All right. I gotta go for a meeting. We'll come back. We'll reassemble that and see if we have good luck with the fast forward and rewind. So, more to follow. All right, back. It's been several hours. We went out for dinner and a meeting about a trip to Europe with some friends that we're doing late September. But anyway, yeah, we've where we left off, I installed the pulley kit for the rubber pulley kit for the fast forward rewind motor, and we've got it now installed. So now all we're going to do is do the reverse assembly, put this back in. But before I do that, I'm going to go inside and give it an extra good clean with isopropyl alcohol and all the faces where any of the rubber pulley will actually touch, and also the other rubber pulleys. I'll give it another treatment of rubber renew just to make sure that the wheels or the belt, the wheels that are installed are nice and supple. And that'll be on the clutch assemblies that I can reach from this side here. So we'll do that, and hopefully that'll make good contact with this rubber wheel onto the idler drive clutch assembly chummies in there, and we'll see if that works. So more to follow. All right, I've cleaned up inside the mechanism with isopropyl alcohol, and I used rubber renew again on those tires just to give it another dab to hopefully get them nice and supple and everything. We've changed the rewind fast forward pulley that came with the kit that I got from wjoeradio.com, and yeah, I've reassembled it partially. I didn't want to button everything up and find out it's not working correctly, so I didn't install the faceplate lock-ins yet and the counter, but it's bolted to the bottom of the chassis. So let's see if we have any kind of luck here. So pop this on. Oh, I unplugged it just because I didn't want to zap myself while I was working on it, which is always a good thing to do. If you read in my comments the previous video of all the things you should be doing when you're restoring old audio gear. So there we go. We've got sound, or we've got power, and let's see. This should still play, hopefully. Yes, it is. I'll have to run that against a meter and just get the speed correct. But it's working. Fast forward is working really well, actually. And rewind is working well. Holy smokes. That was the issue. So we got fast forward, we got rewind, we got play, and it's an old tape. Let's get another tape in here and see how that one sounds. That's like a 1980s tape. Much better. Oh, a tickled pig. A tickled pig. And I went ahead and I deoxidized all these pots in here, or fader lubed them all. So they're noise free, as you can see. So it gives a little bit of lubrication and contact cleaner. I did all 3 of these. I'm going to go and do all of the rest of the switches here before I button it up. We'll put it on and then we'll take it up to my stereo system, and I'm going to throw a test tone on it and just see what speed I need to be at. Well, let's do that now. I'll go get a test tape. Alright, I'm just going to do this quick and dirty. This is not by any chance or by any means the be-all end-all of getting your tape speed correct, but I just want to get it good enough to take it upstairs and hook it up and see how it sounds on my system. But so I've got a test tape here. One's 440 hertz tone for 2 minutes, and then there's 18 minutes of track 2, which is 3150 kilohertz. So I'm going to fast forward it, and then I've got a spectrum analyzer here on my, I know this is not a calibrated device, but you know, it's just going to get us a ballpark. And we should be able to read the frequency, and if it's high I can do it with the pitch control for now. Then I'll have to go into the manual and figure out which pot actually does the motor, because this one on the back of the motor, it actually doesn't have a usually there's a punch out where you can put a non-magnetic screwdriver in and adjust your motor speed just by adjusting the pot on the actual motor. I believe this one's on a separate board in here, so I'll have to figure out from the user manual or the service manual which pot makes that adjustment. So anyway, we'll do this with just the pitch, because thankfully this deck has a really wide varying range on the pitch control button or knob here. So we'll be able to dial in the speed just using that and my test tape here. So it's reading 3230, and it should read 3150. So we need to slow it down just a bit. Oh, 3144. Oh, that's perfect. 3148. So we're good. And we'll see if that drifts. I'll test it after I play a few tapes and then just see if it drifts at all. And if not, we'll have to hit some of these pots and figure out what pot actually does the speed control on the motor assembly. But as it is, it's working good. So I'm going to finish putting everything back together. I'm going to finish deoxiding all the controls, and life will be good, I sense, in this household now that I'll have my tape deck back and working. All right, I took a long break to go play some hockey, and I'm really stiff and sore right now. I'm getting too old for hockey, I guess, but it's too much fun. Anyway, so I'm back now. It is 11:20 at night after playing some old timers hockey down at Save On Foods Memorial Arena. And now we're going to put on the faceplate and cover. We're going to take it up into the system and we're going to try it. We're going to do some recordings and playback. I've cleaned out all the pots. You probably saw me doing that in hyperlapse. And we're going to redo the, because I ended up having to adjust the pitch again, so we'll end up setting that for the time being. I may have to open it up and do some more work if I find that the recording isn't working all that well, but I think all the controls, after I've played them, all the controls are now pretty quiet. No crackling like they were before. They were sitting there for years and years and they were all oxidized, so now I think they're good again. So everything is now in place. So I had this masking tape on the VU meters, just they wouldn't fall out because they sit in here loose like that. And I didn't want them snapping the wires or anything like that. So it's going to be a bit of a chore to line these up and get them into the slots because they don't snap in properly on the back here. So it shouldn't be too hard. So we got all of the things off. The only thing I got to remove is this. Maybe I don't have to remove that. I don't. I might have to. Okay, we're going to go back to hyperlapse. You don't need to see me monkeying around with all this stuff. The little stuff, I call it. Alright, I've got the cabinets on, the front faceplate on, and now we got to put all the buttons and knobs back on. It's not very many, but these ones are dual channel, so you've got a left and right channel. Usually the right's in the middle, I believe. And so what you want to do is find your detents, or in this case there's no center detent, so what you're going to do is turn it both pots to, because it's a double pot there, to all the way down. So we'll line this one up with 0, which should be right about there. There. That looks pretty good. And then the red line should be on 0 as well. And there we go. And that's fully up. And that's your output. I usually leave it, I don't know, around 9 when we're fully up. And then the next one, and of course you clean these before you put them back on. You get lots of grease and slime from people's fingers from touching them over the years. So I always put them in a little bit of a soapy water bath. And I just, okay, make sure that's all the way over. And line it up until it gets on a detent. And you got a little red thing. This spins not just to remember what your optimal setting is for a particular type of tape. So it's kind of a nice touch they put on these top end machines. And these are your record levels. Line. Record level there. And then this is your mic DIN input levels. So there's a separate DIN connector on the back and also a mic input. You can see left and right mic. So this will be your input levels for if you put a mic straight in and you want to just do voice or something like that with a nice premium mic. This one's a USB, but I think I can put it into phono as well. I've got phono mics as well. Okay, so again, we're going to put it all the way left, and then line this up to 0 on the detent. You'll feel the detent where 0 is. And you can get a little parallax, so you can get a bit out on some of these, so you can just, they're easy to adjust. So, lighten that one up. There we go. And these are just simple toggle switches here. So there's 3 of them. There's one is your monitor switch over on the right hand side. Comme ça. And then your pause switch right here. And then your power switch. And I've got that disconnected on the test bar here so it doesn't come on. So now we look in here. These are from a CTF-1000 that I was using. I was looking for some small screws, but I didn't really need any. I found all the ones I needed elsewhere. So that's another deck that I've got on the go, is a CTF-650 over there, but it's a they're bottom of the line kind of. I think the 550 was the bottom of the line, but yeah, 2-head deck, so it's not nearly as nice as this one. It's got a nice face on it, and it's the blue series with the blue VU meters, LED VU meters. So there we have it. CTF-1000 is fully assembled. We're going to take it up and put it into my stereo system, my Pioneer Silver Series system up in my media room, and we'll put it through its paces and see how she's operating. We'll convene up in my media room in a few minutes. All right, here we have my Silver Series system. So what we have is a Pioneer SA9502 integrated power amp. It's the top of the line for that particular model year, same year as this tape deck came out. And it's a dual transformer amplifier. I recapped it and basically made it like new again. We've got the TX8502 tuner. I don't use it all that often, so I usually leave it off, but it powers on nicely and works great as well. Pioneer SG9800 graphic equalizer. Right now it's out of the loop because I just quickly unplugged that and put that in just to into tape 2, I believe it is on there. And so what we're going to do, and what I've done is I've just plugged it in and powered it on, and I just rewound this tape, and it actually rewound all the way and then auto stopped, so that's a good thing. And what I need to do is, because I cleaned the pitch control with deoxit, so I exercised it, and of course I've lost the setting right now for speed. I just want to make sure it's correct, so we're going to put the that on, and I think we're going to have to go to tape 2, and we'll push play. We might have to turn it down a bit. Oh, maybe it's tape 1. Oh, there we go. There we go. And we'll turn on the spectrum analyzer. And there you can see. All right, welcome to my messy media room. And you can't see all the other mess around the place here, but anyway, this is my Pioneer Silver Series system, vintage from around circa 1978-ish. Some of the components are a little bit newer. More specifically, well, let's run through the whole system here. So we've got the Pioneer SA9500 Series 2 integrated power amplifier. It was the top of the line in that day, in that time, which was around 1978. 80 watts per channel RMS into a 8 ohm load. It's got dual transformers, so it's basically 2 mono blocks basically in one box. This was completely recapped by myself and working pretty good. That was quite a few years ago. It needs a little bit of deoxit on the volume control, but that's coming next. TX-8500 tuner. Let's turn everything on here. So we've got the power. You can hear the relay kick in there. It just kicked in. Tuner works good. We've got the DT-500 Pioneer timer, which I use all the time. I love it because you can just use one button to turn everything on, and also turn it, set it to sleep, so you can set it for an hour and it'll shut itself off. And like I say, I use it all the time. And then of course our new addition, which is the Pioneer CTF-1000, which is the topic of this video. We'll discuss that in a minute. And then the SG-9800 graphic equalizer. Right now it'll power on, but it's and you can see the red LEDs and everything. It works great. I had it plugged into monitor 1, and I quickly displaced that to put that in. I'll eventually plug this into the EQ and then tape monitor 1 and get that working properly. I'm just putting this into the tape monitor 1 just to test right now. And then as a match, because during this era there was no CD players, and it took a long time to find a CD player that would match the system. And there was one in the 1980s, which was a pile of garbage, and they dub it as the Silver Series CD player. But I found this one. It's made in Japan. It's a Pioneer PD10 SACD, so it works with SACD discs and regular CDs, and it's a beautiful machine. It works on 100 volts, so I have to use a step down transformer. And then the more modern thing, of course, is my Cambridge Audio DAC Magic Plus DAC that I use in the auxiliary loop for digital stuff. And here I've got a B-Link mini PC with a 6 terabyte hard drive. I think it's 6 terabytes. And with all my DJ stuff, I used to DJ for many years, so I've got many music videos and high resolution FLAC files stacked up on that. And of course I've got records galore all downstairs, and CDs and tapes, and a massive cassette collection. That's why I'm reviving this thing. So let's turn it on. Let's get everything working. So I plugged this into the switched loop of the it's the only one that was available for power on the integrated amp. So power it up, and look at that. It works good. And we'll start off, because I cleaned all these pots after, you might have seen it in the video, but I cleaned all the pots with deoxit, or fader lube, actually, for the pot, the equivalent of fader lube. I use MG Electronics, which is just as good. I also have fader lube. So anyway, we'll put in a test tape. This one is at 3150 Hertz. So we're going to run Spectroid, and this is just a rough thing, so you'll see where the peaks are. So I'm going to run a test tone through both speakers. I did this earlier one time and I had one of the RCAs was loose, and I thought, oh God, I got to start all over again because nothing's working here. But anyway, we'll do the test tone. There we go, both speakers working, and we're getting 3188. So we want to dial that back just a hair to get it down to 3150. 41. It's real fine control. There we are. It's 41. That's good enough. Good enough for government work and what we're doing right now. I'll go back later, and I want to go in and maybe have a look at all the pot or the capacitors and all that stuff. And I've by far not complete with this tape deck yet, but I just want to show that all the mechanics are working at this point. So there we go. that's working good. And of course, this is not a calibrated device. It's just giving me a ballpark. So phones are never good enough to do hard calibration from. Okay, so now let's do some tunes. And I rewound this tape down below. So yes, the rewind and fast forward and everything, but I'll show you. So let's get it playing. So here's a Canadian band that it's called Full Moon Run. They're from Montreal, but 3 of the guys are from Vancouver Island here, and it's a fabulous, fabulous album. So let's see how it sounds. And I've got Dolby B. It's a chrome tape. Set it to chrome. That's for recording, really. And Dolby noise reduction. Actually, I want without the multiplex filter because I'm not recording from radio. And monitor. There we go. Let's have a listen to this bad boy. Oh, look at how good that sounds. These guys are fabulous in concert. They're percussion. They have 3 percussionists on the stage, and they bang the drums off each other. And oh yeah, Pioneer HPM 100s. I failed to mention that. And then I do music videos on the screen. That is a fabulous sounding cassette deck. Just the way it is without even a further tune-up. And at the end of this tape, I'll put the instruction list for the rebelting this turntable, as well as the fast forward, rewind, mortar, pulley switch out. Look at those VUs, they're just bang around. Sparks are always fire, cause you drink for relief with the heart of a child in the winter before it's a wonder why. Don't try to build a wall around you, and now watch as your head turns full circle. Okay, that's enough of that. We've proved that it plays, and we did that earlier in part 1, but now the part that was not working was the fast forward. And look at that. And I've already proved I'm not going to fast forward it all the way to the end. And let's do rewind. Rewind is working as well, just nicely. And when it hits the end, they both stop in both directions. So the auto stop is actually working properly. Yeah, so now I'm gonna go and crack a Maxell SA90 or XL290, and we'll make a recording and just see how it records. So back in a moment. All right, we've got this CD cassette that I have down. I've got tons of these things that I bought over the years just to feed my Nakamichis. And I do a lot of recording over old tapes and stuff. I've got tons and tons of these XL2s and 2Ss and all that stuff. I like Maxell. I've got also lots of TDKs, SA90s and stuff. But yeah, so we're gonna crack a new one here just to make sure we're starting with a good tape. I'm gonna stop. Right, I had to, I couldn't do it with one hand. So there we got brand new old stock Maxell XL2 90 chrome tape with the tab still in, so it will record. And I confess, I used to know how to use the test tones. I'm going to have to go back to the manual and read it, but I suspect what I'm going to do, if we go in source, yeah, tone's working, so we probably want to change anyway, I'll have to go and read that. We'll lay down a test tone track, record the test tone, and make sure it's the views are the same. Again, I'll have to look at the procedure again. It's been years and years, well, decades since I've operated one of these things. I like some of the ones. I used to have auto calibrate and auto tune on my Akai GXF91 and my RX50. Well, the 505 didn't have the auto. It had a bias tune like this does, standard in chrome. Anyway, let's do a recording. I'll pull up a media player and then we'll record off of FLAC, digital FLAC. Okay, we're going to do a rough level check here just to see how my source is reading. So I'm not recording yet. So I've got this set on source and I've got my virtual DJ and I'm playing a FLAC of the same file I just played, full circle, half moon run, and is the name of the tune. And what we'll do is we'll pick on the timeline here, you can see where the transients are sort of pretty good, about average for what the song is. And then you can see the Dolby, so we're recording in Dolby B. This doesn't do Dolby C. If you want to have it peaking at just maybe there you go. Now what we want to do is see if the actual recording mimics those source levels that is reading there. Doesn't always happen. They can be out of alignment a bit. Okay. So I'm happy with that level. With that, using the source settings, I'll have to adjust it when I start recording. It's a little high. We're just going into the red. It's a chrome tape, so it's got a little bit of room to play. +3 is there, so you got lots of room. Okay, and we're going to pause that. And then we're going to start at the very beginning. And put the tape in, and we're going to push play and record. We're ready. And then we're going to put it on tape loop. So we're monitoring from the tape. Get past the leader first. I keep hitting the button that stops this darn thing. Anyway, let's try this here again. And we got the leader passed. So we're starting at the beginning of the tune. So you can hear the difference between the actual recording, which is what you're listening to now. So this is being imprinted on the tape, and that's what we're monitoring with a 3-head deck. A little hot. And then you can listen to the source. I have to calibrate the Dolby, obviously. I think you calibrate to the Dolby signal, so it's reading at the same on when you record it, but I can't remember. So I'm satisfied with that. my counter and everything is working correctly. Okay, and let's stop it, rewind. We'll get to the beginning. Auto stop, push play, and this should be what we just recorded. And let's go back and listen to it from a distance. We're getting past the leader plus some. There it goes. Oh, it's a good recording. I can tell already.
Got by feeling at the back of the church, feel the water on your brow, it's healing, it hurts at first, a sharpish pain, it returns as a thought, let the needle in your skin won't bring you closer to God, and I watch as your head turns full circle.
And that's coming straight from the tape, and then you'll hear it just end because I stopped the recording. It's even on both channels. BUs are even on both channels. So it's pretty well calibrated. And it's bright, good highs. I don't even think I have to adjust the azimuth on this. I got an oscilloscope downstairs. I can tap into it with a test tone and see. That'll be a later project when I start doing the recapping and everything. But right now I wanted to get a running deck that I can use in my system and have adequate sound. It doesn't sound wow and fluttery at all. I think I got a solid player here. And there it ended. That's where I stopped the recording. So, very satisfied with the outcome. I think this is where I'm going to wrap things up and say that we're going to call this a success so far. Like I say, I'm toying with the idea of going on all the major boards, like the Dolby board, the control board, and especially the sound processing board and everything. And basically recap it. But I'll have to order parts from Mauser or wherever, and DigiKey, or I usually use DigiKey. But yeah, or Mauser. And yeah, we'll use that as a future upgrade. So thank you for watching. I'm very pleased with the outcome. And hopefully you'll see some more projects that I do in the months to follow. Thank you.